All right, let me share screen again. Okay, I think I got it. All right, so tonight I just wanted to share with you guys. So first of all, yesterday I did a training, my husband and I did a training here in Arizona where we live with some of our local people, just to give them an idea of what leadership was like. And so I wanted to talk about that for a second before I go into this. For you guys that are newer at the business side, doTERRA does what they call leadership once a year. It's always in the spring, and they do it actually in 2 different locations now, and it's for all the leaders of doTERRA. So anybody silver and above can attend leadership, and it's really awesome. So here in America, they do one in Orlando and they do one in Long Beach, California. It's a 2-day training, and for diamonds and above, it's a 3-day training. And they bring in speakers and inspirational speakers, and the owners are all there, and they talk about amazing stuff that's going on, and it's all business related, not like oil related. And so it's really cool and motivating and awesome, and I love it. And I would highly encourage anybody that's silver or plans on going silver this year, get to leadership because it's awesome. It's really awesome. So they do that in the spring, and then in the fall they always do convention. Convention is in the fall, and it's September 6th through the 8th this year. So those are the 2 kind of big events that doTERRA does every year, and I would highly recommend getting to both of them. But if I had to choose between convention and leadership, I would choose leadership because it's kind of the thing that gets your momentum and the ball rolling for you to be inspired and really drive doTERRA as a business and grow. And so David and I, my husband and I, just got back from that a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. And we learned a lot, and I want to share some of it with you guys tonight. The other thing I want to say before I start this is doTERRA, if you guys haven't heard, does a incentive trip once a year, and it's usually in January or February. And so this past year in January, they had one, and my husband and I went, Em and Mick went. There was tons of people from doTERRA, all the owners go, and it was in Cancun, and it's like a fun week at the beach, and you can win going. So we won going this past year. And so the new incentive trip, they always announce it at leadership, so they just announced it, is going to Dominican Republic, and it's going to be next February, and you guys can win it by just enrolling people and getting people on LRP. doTERRA actually keeps track of it all in their back office. You don't have to keep track of any of it. And so you can enroll people and you get points for it. And if you go to doTERRA.com, there's a link that says incentive trip, and you can click on it and read about it if you haven't heard about it. And my husband and I had so much fun this past time we went, and we encourage everybody to go. We'll be going again, and we would love for anybody to come with us. So keep those things in mind as you're building and growing as the business, because doTERRA offers amazing trainings and amazing trips that we're all lucky to be able to take advantage of. All right, so creating a lifestyle. Something that's really important to me is how doTERRA has become my lifestyle. And not just doTERRA, but like how I intermingle it around my whole life, around what we do as a family, as a husband and wife, and how we live our life. And so I wanted to talk about that and kind of the steps it takes to create the lifestyle that you want. So the success curve is really what I'm going to be talking about. Oh, why is that not doing that? Ah. Okay. So what does it mean to have a lifestyle, and why would you want this lifestyle of doTERRA, or whatever lifestyle you choose to have? Why would you use doTERRA as that vehicle? So here's some images for you. One is of my family in the top right, and that's our family in a nutshell, really. We have 4 kids. They love to skateboard. We love to be outdoors. We love to hang out as a family. doTERRA is providing us to be able to spend time as a family to create this, this lifestyle. And, you know, some things that you might think about is, do you want to travel? Do you want to be able to help with humanitarian services, adventures you want to go on? You know, all of these things. How are you going to make those things happen? doTERRA is an amazing way to help with these things. So my presentation stopped. Funny. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. So doTERRA is an amazing way for these things to happen. So I want to go over how you begin, how you actually create this, how you make this your lifestyle. So the thing I want to start with is your philosophy. There's this success curve that I'm going to talk about, and how it starts is with your philosophy. So the most basic beliefs, concepts, and attitudes of an individual or a group. That is your philosophy. So whatever that is where you begin. It's what you start with, right? The attitude towards it is how you feel about that philosophy, how you feel about that. So however you feel is going to be the action that you take, and how you accomplish that feeling or that thing is going to be the result. So all of these things contribute to how your life is. So, you know, it can go positive or negative, right? It can go, okay, I go to a 9 to 5, I hate it, I do my job, I come home, I'm starving, I eat dinner, I lay on the couch and watch TV and go to bed. Like, is that the lifestyle you want? Is that fulfilling you and bringing joy to your life? Or do you feel like there could be more? Do you want more in your life? Do you want to be able to achieve more or help more or serve more? Be able to hang out with your family more? All of these things. So when you think about these actions that you take and this sequence that you take, is it getting you the end result that you want? And that's what's really what it comes down to, right? So it all starts with this philosophy you have and how you actually build upon that. So I always talk about this book, and if you guys are involved in the Facebook group or Grow Oils page, I keep talking about books on the weekend check-in, right? Because I feel that powerful about it, that passionate about it. So if you guys haven't read The Slight Edge, start reading The Slight Edge. Like, that's all I gotta say, because it's been a huge help in developing my attitude towards how I'm doing this and how I'm going to go about doing this. So take note and buy this book. It is very well worth it. I have earmarked, highlighted, reread so many times in this book. But the reason I bring this up is because this whole thing that I'm talking about is actually the whole philosophy behind The Slight Edge, and it's what David and I believe in and how we built our business of doTERRA, and it really starts with this book. So the whole philosophy behind this book is what I'm talking about, where you have the philosophy, attitude, actions, results, and lifestyle, and what that actually means. So there's two ways this can go, right? It can go up or it can go down. And here's a really good example, really basic example is, it's really easy to brush your teeth twice a day, but it's really easy not to brush your teeth twice a day. So it's those little things that we do that add up. If you don't brush your teeth twice a day, one time, is it gonna make a big difference when you go to the dentist every 6 months? Probably not. But if you brush your teeth every other day, once, you might get some cavities, or you might have some plaque, or you might have some issues with your teeth. But, you know, if you actually just take the 2 minutes it takes to brush your teeth once in the morning and once at night, look, you know, you're going to have cleaner teeth, you're going to have less plaque, you're going to have less cavities, less issues in your mouth. And actually, it's been proven to have a longer life if you brush your teeth twice a day. But how it can go, you know, another example is somebody that walks one time for 30 minutes. They're like, you know what? Monday, I'm going to start walking 30 minutes a day. and they do it once, and by Tuesday they're like, you know what, I'm tired after work, I don't want to go for a walk, I'm just going to lay on the couch, I'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow comes and they don't do it. Well, is that one 30-minute walk they did on Monday going to make a big difference 30 years later? No, it's going to make no difference, right? But if they went on a walk every day for 30 minutes, do you think they're going to have lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, probably have lost some weight, and have better results in their health and well-being? For sure. That makes the difference. So the things that are easy to do, but are just as easy not to do, that's the whole philosophy behind what we do in our life and actually makes up our lifestyle. So there's this thing called the success curve, and it's what's uncomfortable early becomes comfortable later. That's how you're going to be successful. But on the opposite or flip side, what's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later. Like anything. If it's easier not to do your homework or study for a test, it's going to be hard to get a good grade, and it's going to be uncomfortable when you get that F and don't pass the test and you have to retake the class. If that gives you a good example. So the next question I have for you is, how do you apply this to building doTERRA? How does the slight edge, how does doing these simple, consistent actions actually build your business? So I took a screenshot. It's not a very good one. Hopefully you can read it. But here is, I really like this simple guide here of how to build your business with doTERRA. So if you want to take a screenshot or a photo of this with your phone, go for it. This piece of paper is made by a company called, let me see if they have an address on here, livenaturallytools.com. And I can put a link on the Grow Oils page, but it's livenaturallytools.com. And this right here, this piece of paper is called Build Naturally. It's honestly one piece of paper, like it's two-sided. I didn't photograph the back, but the back side is, you add names of who you want to start contacting. But the front side, which is what I've taken a picture of, gives you the daily, the weekly, the monthly tips on how to do doTERRA, how to actually start building your business. So I get this question all the time of, what does it mean to do doTERRA as a business? Well, here it is right here, because there is no right one-way formula. Here's some suggestions for you to do that will help you be successful. But really what it comes down to is doing these steps consistently and really making an effort to follow up with people that you've talked to, or host classes regularly, or reach out beyond your circle of influence regularly. These things are going to make you successful in doTERRA because you're doing them consistently. So I can come back to this slide, but really this is how you build doTERRA. I mean, it's pretty basic, but at the same time, why make it more complicated than it needs to be, right? You have the formula, you have the steps. It's being consistent that's really going to drive you forward and bring you the momentum that you need to be successful. Does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. Just chime in if you want, and need to unmute yourself. No worries if you want to ask questions. Okay. So where do you see yourself? So this is something that I like to talk to people about, because I think it's a good self-check. I do this to myself every few months at least, and go, okay, how am I focusing? What am I committed to here? How am I growing? Because sometimes you get into a slump, or you're like frustrated and you don't know how to move forward. I call it the ebb and flow of doTERRA. So where do you see yourself? There's some different levels to building the business, and I think it's good to go over what that actually means so that people they are not frustrated with not growing as quickly as they might think they need to or want to doing this. Okay, so a user, which we all use the oils, and that's what I call a user, is somebody that loves the product, but they're not interested in making any money, and they don't have any time commitments because they're just using the oils, so they're not going to make any money. I would say that's the majority of your organization is probably users, which is great because we love that doTERRA has a 70% retention rate and people love the oils in the products. So the level 1 builder is somebody that loves to get their oils paid for. They're willing to support the people that they enroll. They'll teach maybe 1 to 2 classes a month, and they're committing about 5 to 10 hours a week of income producing activities. And the average income is about $300 to $500 a month. Usually that would mean about an elite to premier in the rank scale. I should have put that on here, but I didn't. So 5 to 10 hours a week is a very, low commitment job, I would say, less than part-time for making decent money a month. A level 2 builder is somebody that wants to supplement their income. They want to help their users and their builders. They're teaching 3.5, 4 classes a month, doing some one-on-ones maybe. Their weekly commitment level is 10 to 20 hours a week, and their average income is around $2,000. Obviously, this is all an average, but I would say that's pretty on key to what we're talking about. So that's a level 2 builder. Now, a level 3 builder is what I am. I'm a level 3 builder, have been since the day I started building, because I was doing all of these things kind of right from the get-go, the jump start. I wanted to replace my income, I wanted to build wealth, and I wanted to change the lifestyle and outcome of what I was doing with my life and with my family's life. I do personal development every single day, which I'm either listening to an audiobook, driving in the car, podcasts, reading a book, watching a doTERRA video or some other inspirational video, something like that. Even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes a day, it's a habit that I can't seem to break, which is good because I want to continue to develop who I am. I will say this, bar none, doTERRA is a personal development company. You are building yourself as well as building other people while doing doTERRA. It's kind of a hand-in-hand thing. It's hard, I've grown as a person more in the last 2 years of doing doTERRA as a business than in the last 34 years of my life. So you want to focus on attracting strong builders into your organization, so you're always looking for more people to do the business with you and bringing on friends and family and outside people to possibly build your organization with you and teaching them how to build their own organizations. You're teaching 5 or more classes a month, and you're committed to working 20 to 40 hours a month, which is in real life part-time work, and that's saying that's full-time for doTERRA. So that's pretty amazing. The monthly income is from $10,000 to the sky's the limit, honestly, for anybody. But I would say this is about a diamond, blue diamond, you're going to be making more, and I'll show you here in a second. So, think about which level of builder that you are or you want to be, and see where you need to be committed or change what you're doing to redefine. And if you're frustrated that you're making only $300 a month, but you're putting in 5 or less hours a week on doTERRA, and you really want to be making $5,000, $10,000 a month, reevaluate how many hours you're putting in and see where you can commit more hours, and see if that's what you can do. Instead of watching that hour of TV at night before you go to bed, watch an inspirational video or text a few people that you've talked to in the last week or follow up with a person, see where you can fit in a few more things that maybe you didn't think you had time for before. The last slide I have a couple more slides, but the last main slide here I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I'm sorry, this is a terrible slide. It's a screenshot of a presentation that I was watching. And actually one of the numbers is wrong on here where it says gold. The number should be higher. It's a misprint. But this right here kind of put everything in perspective for me. Because when you're building this business, you think you're pushing a huge rock up a really steep hill. And you're like, why am I doing this? This is hard. This is frustrating. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not making any money. It's taking all my time. Why am I doing this? And the whole point of why you're doing this is to get to where you're on the other side and you're rolling down the hill and you're working less hours and you're making a heck of a lot more money for doing a lot less work, but you're also have gone through all of that so you can help those people underneath you know what it's like to go through it and fight for them and help them grow as well and become their leader and mentor. So my husband and I, we're sitting kind of on the top of this hill right now. We're diamonds and we're kind of slowly rolling down the other side. We are working about 40 to 60 hours a week. Both of us are. And it's a good thing because we did grow really fast and we have been able to replace his income and we don't have another job. This is our job and it does provide for our family. And he's home watching the kids while I'm doing a webinar. But we also have noticed that teeter-totter is going down the right direction for us now. And that's a really good feeling. And putting in 2 really hard years of work is paying off. And we can see it very clearly that steep hill of going up is paying off and it's making all the difference. And I can attest, if Em was on this call, and a lot of you guys know Em, she's in that same position and she's teetering down that same hill and she has put in the sweat and tears and blood and all of that and more to grow this, but she's changed her lifestyle. She's changing her future with her family as well as us. And I love seeing that in other people. And what they're accomplishing. It's really awesome. So I have one more question for you. And it's, are you ready to do the uncomfortable now so that you will be very comfortable later? My husband and I know that if we our goal was to put in 4 years of really, really hard work and see where it got us. Our first original goal was to put in 1 year. And if we could replace his income of his other job, we would continue down this doTERRA path. Well, we did that in about 10 months, and so we decided to keep going. And now we see a very comfortable future by pushing for another year or two. We'll be able to solidify what we're doing, keep helping our builders, being able to be more of a family and live a very comfortable lifestyle that can lead us to being able to serve more people, to help more people, be able to go on humanitarian trips with our kids, be able to travel with our kids and do all of these things. Is it uncomfortable to, put a PowerPoint together and talk to people you don't really know online? For sure. But is it making me feel more comfortable as the more I do it, the more I teach classes? Like Melissa was saying when we started, she taught her first class by herself. And I'm sure that was uncomfortable and anxious and not the most comfortable way you want to spend 2 hours of your day. But you also get over that hill and you go, I did it. I can do it again. And you get this little bit of a rush and you get this little bit of momentum going and this really good excitement going. And it feels amazing to accomplish that and to know, okay, I did this. I can keep doing this and I can probably teach somebody else how to do it. And that is a really good feeling, in my opinion, of why we keep doing what we're doing. So I just have to say that I love doTERRA so much. I'm so passionate about it. I love the business side of doTERRA and I love what it's providing for me and my family. And I would say I'm never going to stop doing what we're doing. I love educating people and helping them grow and feeling that bigger picture of why doTERRA is so important to me and my family. And not only that, it's empowering my children on how to use the oils and how to help themselves. And they're seeing their mom and dad work really hard for something that's really important to us. doTERRA is the original medicine. Plants were put here on earth for us to learn and grow and use. And so why not use them for that reason? So we love it. So yeah, that's kind of not only the reason we're doing doTERRA, but I hope it helps you guys understand why it's important to do what we're doing, and kind of maybe reconsider and reevaluate where you're spending your time and how you can be spending your time to achieve what you want out of doTERRA. I would love to answer any questions, or if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them. Does anybody have anything? You guys are so quiet on mute. No? All right. I was going to say feedback from you guys for just a second, but do you guys have any feedback on the weekly check-ins that I've been doing? I personally love it. I feel like people are opening up and being more honest with what they're doing. I feel like, I hope it's helping you guys to evaluate how you're spending your time and what you guys are doing. And even if you're not responding, I hope you're at least reading it. I'm trying to get these two groups, the Live Oils and Grow Oils page, more active and more involved, and getting people excited and passionate about using oils and growing their businesses both. And so I would love feedback on anything you guys have to say about that. And you guys are more than welcome to post on those pages. I hope you know that it's open for all of us to use and share on, and invite your people on. If they're doing the business, invite them to the Grow Oils page. And if they're using the oils, invite them to the Live Oils page, and, you know, keep growing what we're doing in the community that we're building. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions? I know I keep saying that. I feel like I'm talking to myself. You want to say something?
I've got a question.
Yeah. Yep.
Just Facebook pages. So the Live Oils and Grow Oils are sort of newer. So I seem to belong to so many doTERRA Facebook pages that it's overwhelming. And I'm thinking, well, should I just leave some? But I just get all these emails, and then I don't always open them because there's just so many.
I think you need to change your notification settings so you're not getting emails about it. So okay. How I view Facebook is not by scrolling Facebook. Usually, I might scroll it every couple days. How I actually view Facebook is on the left have my favorite groups that I like to check in on. And so I have the Grow Oils favorite and the Live Oils favorite over there, and I click on that directly and it takes me into that group. So I'm not getting confused at other Facebook stuff that's going on. It's only that group that I'm concentrating on. So I do have a handful of groups that I'm a part of, doTERRA wise and otherwise, you know, but instead of mindlessly scrolling Facebook, I found that was really confusing, and I didn't know what was a part of what. Instead, I go into individual groups and view that way. So I don't know if that might help, but I would also change your settings so that you're not getting so many notifications on every time somebody posts or that type of thing. I've turned most of mine off. If I comment on somebody, or if I post somebody and somebody comments, then I get a notification because I like to be able to see, you know, what I'm interacting with. But otherwise, it can be overwhelming for sure. Yep. And I don't know a better forum, like platform out there than Facebook for like a group setting. Unfortunately, that's pretty much it. So that's what we use. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Anything else anybody has? No? Yes, go for it, Laura.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I don't know if this is on topic at all, but like I'm just getting started, and I know I really believe in everything, and it's worked for me in many ways. But I'm just so uncomfortable when it comes to talking to people about, I don't know why, you know, but you know, I automatically feel like I'm trying to sell them on something, or I'm not genuine, but I really am. So I just feel kind of silly at this point, and don't really know where to start, and especially with, it's almost worse with people that I'm closer to.
Oh, for sure.
Skeptical. You're like,
They seem skeptical because it's like, why are you doing this new thing? You were fine before. Why would you choose something new to get into? I totally know what you mean. So when I started, I had used the oils for 3 years before I ever started doing the business. So I was super comfortable using the oils, and I was actually sharing the oils with everybody that I didn't even realize what I was doing. I didn't even know there was a business side to doTERRA. I was pretty stupid, I'm not gonna lie. I had somebody come to me, her name is Molly Dayton. She's my right above us. She's one of my best friends, and we talk all the time, but I didn't know about it until she told me there's a business side to doTERRA. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm going to do this business. I'm going to make money, and I'm supposed to tell people about it. Like, that's really scary. I didn't even know where to begin, even though I'd already been doing it. When you don't know you're doing it, it's not like a big deal. It's like you went to a restaurant, you liked a really good meal item, whatever, plate of food. You took a picture of it and put it on Instagram, and everybody's like, where's that from? That looks so good. That's really easy. But as soon as you're like, I'm doing this as a business, I've got to take it more seriously, then it's like, oh, overwhelming, and you feel like you shouldn't talk to anybody, and what if they're judging me, and all of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, when my husband and I decided to commit to doing this as a business, I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to teach a class. I have to go do that? Like, are you serious? Like, I thought you were going to do that. I'm just going to sit back here and use the oils still. So what happened was I just said to myself, you know what? I talked to myself a little bit, and I was like, a few things. I love the oils. I know they work. I'm really passionate about changing people's lives and helping them realize that these are a need, not a want. Why in the heck am I not sharing them with people? Like, I had all these stories made up of, you're not good enough to do this, people aren't going to take you seriously, and all this stuff. And it was like, screw them. Like, I know that's not nice to say, but I was like, I don't care if I'm being judged anymore. I'm going to be, I just, like, one day it clicked for me, and it took me about 2 months, and I was like, I'm going to be the oil person in my area. Like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be the oil person in my area. Like, if somebody needs oils, because they're going to want them eventually, even if they say they don't, they're going to come to me, because I'm going to put myself out there and say, you have oils? So I had this girl come over today. She lives in my neighborhood. I've known her forever. And she texts me this morning, and she's at 6:45. She's like, my daughter's leaving tonight on an airplane for school, and she's out of lavender, and she's freaking out. Do you have any at your house? I know you do oils. Like, I'm the oil person in my area, which is awesome. Now, that did take a little bit of time of me putting myself out there and going, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing this. Like, I don't care if somebody's like, she's teaching another freaking class. Really? Really? But who cares? Like, not only did I love it, and I love talking to people about oils, I knew it would help them. And when you know it's going to help somebody, it's really hard not to share the oils. When you're sitting at the park with your friends, and the little boy has a cough, or he's having trouble breathing, I cannot not say something. Like, I have breathe right here in my bag. Let me just help your son, Or, man, that rash on his arm is looking awful. Can I please just help relieve it? It's bugging him. Like, it's really hard to keep your mouth shut. And when you get to that point, you're like, okay, I just got to say something, And yes, they're going to call you the crazy oil lady. And they're going to probably make fun of you and draw a caricature of you on the work board and say, this person always asks if I want peppermint when I have a headache, But I don't know if that even makes sense, but it takes a little bit to go, I'm just going to do this anyway. Like, I don't care what people say. And Melissa said it earlier, and I don't know if you were on, but she said the same thing that I hands down believe. Talk to people you don't know, because they don't know that you just started using oils. You know, let your family join you in 6 months, in a year, when, you know, they come to you and say, you know what, man, my back hurts. That Deep Blue stuff you put on the other day, it really did help. Can I get some of that? Instead of like, do you want some Deep Blue? I've got some Deep Blue for you. I know it will help you. Like, just let it be, and go teach people that you don't know as well. You know, reach out to places that are going to build your circle even bigger. And I think that's it's tough to do that because it's uncomfortable, but it's also going to be the best way for you to grow you, your team, and to help people the best way. And really what it comes down to is this whole business is to help people get oils and to better their lives, change their lifestyle, change what they're doing. So, does that help?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I heard Shannon's coming out there tomorrow to see you.
She is. Yeah.
Super excited, and I can't wait to see how it goes. And if you guys need anything, let me know when she's out there.
Okay.
I sent her with a bunch of stuff to give to you and help you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully I'll have some good stuff to report next week.
Perfect. Yeah, awesome. Anybody else have anything? All right, I'll let you guys go, but if you guys have questions, feel free to please comment or ask questions on, Facebook message me or call me or anything. Do you have another question, Jenny?
No, I was just unmuting so I could say thank you when you finish.
All right.
So,
Thank you. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
bye.
Bye.